Okay.
We are live. Good evening, everybody. It's Sunday. Welcome to another Iron and Ceramite podcast. My name is John, and as always, I'm joined by Shane. Hello, mate. How are you?
Evening. I'm very good, thank you. Very good. A
Yes.
lot of hobbying. Although not playing the game, other parts of the hobbying, my side, the past week or so.
Same here. I've done no games this week. I think this is the first week in forever that I haven't had a game. I can't remember the last time I went a full week without playing.
Yeah, I mean that's quite
Drawing.
good. It's quite a good run, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
um, but I'm assuming you'll scratch that itch. Well, we've got a game coming up Saturday, and I'm sure you've probably got games lined up. Otherwise,
yeah, yeah.
the club and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got a game booked, a shed game booked Wednesday.
Nice.
I might go to the club Wednesday if I can get another game if I'm allowed out. And then hopefully I've got one Thursday, and then yeah, we've got our game Saturday,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I'm looking forward to because I do. We spoke about it before. I do have a Highlander list.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool, very good. So, ironically, put the idea out, and then I started looking at the list that I took to the tournament, I was like, oh, it's a Highlander list anyway, because I don't have any, I'm not running any doubles of anything, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not just going to run that anyway, because then that would feel a bit silly. So
yeah,
I have got another list that I've put together that throws in some of my units that I don't often run, like the vanilla marine stuff. So I've added in like some aggressors. I've added in the eradicators again,
yeah,
um, and then to really mess with stuff. Because I was thinking about this the other day. There's a as a Space Wolves player, you can use the Space Wolves detachments, but then you can also use the like vanilla marine detachments, so you can use everything else as well.
okay,
So I was looking at it and I was like, well, I always run Scout Infiltrators, which are Phobos keyword, Scout and Phobos, and there is a Phobos 1 DP detachment. So I was like, maybe I'll give this a go and I'll throw that in. And then I remember that the Invicta Warsuit also for some reason has the Phobos keyword.
all
So I was
right,
like, right, even though it's definitely not as efficient as running like a Redemptor or something like that, I was
yeah.
like, oh, do you know what? I haven't run the Invicta Warsuit in ages. Maybe I'll stick him in as well, and then see whether I can get the Phobos bit to work. So that will probably be the. It's still a Highlander list. It's different to what I'd run tournament wise, um, but it will probably be what I'll try for our little campaign play and see what
Oh,
happens.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah. So
I've tried to put in things that I don't normally use.
yeah.
The detachment I can change. I just because I was, when you overcomplicate trying to find the right detachment. So
Yeah.
for now, it's just in the 3 DP Virulent Victorum, but
Fine, keep
we
it
can always
easy.
change it if we fancy it. But so standard in this list, Demon Prince of Nurgle with the 5 up Feel No Pain enhancement.
Nice. Okay. Nice and
But
brutal.
then I've got one squad of 5 Plague Marines
Okay.
being led by an Icon Bearer and the Plague Surgeon. So
Oh,
it's
it okay.
high OC and potentially regen.
Yeah.
They will be in a Chaos Rhino,
Yeah. Nice.
and joining them for a ride will be a Malignant Plaguecaster and a Phantom
Classic.
Lightspawn
So you're doing
with
the usual fun
spraying.
bus. Yeah.
Then we have a Tallyman
Yeah.
standard, and then we've got the Lord of Contagion
Yeah.
with some enhancement with 3 Death Shroud, just the
Oh,
3.
okay. Only three. All right. I thought you
Yep.
might have gone out for the maxed six.
No, no, no. I want you to have fun this time.
Right. Fine. 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 I appreciate that.
And then Chaos Spawn, standard, but only one.
Yeah.
10 Poxwalkers with Typhus. I thought
Okay.
about going 20, but I was like, no, I'm doing minimums as well.
Fine.
And then mixing it up. So I've got a Predator Annihilator, which is the anti
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
One drone with Plague Spitters.
Yeah.
One heavy, like one drone with the heavy blight launcher.
Blight launcher. Yeah.
one Blight Hauler,
Yeah.
Plague
Nice.
Burst Crawler, and
Okay.
then something that I genuinely cannot remember the last time it was on the table is a Hellbrute.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Just
there's a
because, why not?
few different bits and pieces in there. I was like, when I thought about it, I was like, is he going to go with Blight Lords? Is this the time for the Blight Lords to come back?
They they went in. But when I was putting together, I just want to do like minimum. Like that's why I went on 5 Plague Marines and 10.
Yeah,
I just don't see the appeal of running 5 Blight Lords or
five,
3 Blight Lords.
fine.
And I didn't want to run 10 because, and then with the Lord of Virulence, that's 500 points again.
Yeah, okay,
And
fair
I
enough.
think if we're doing Highlanders, I just like the idea of having lots of everything.
Yeah, yeah, the whole chocolate box of the Death Guard. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. What's the remind me what because obviously every faction's Hellbrute does something different. What's the Death Guard one do? What's his
So
flavor?
the Hellbrute's ability is each time this model makes an attack that targets an afflicted unit, add 1 to the wound roll. So this guy is basically always going to be wound on a 2 because my guy's got a Hellbrute Hammer, which is um, strength 14 anyway.
Yep,
So it's genuinely like, depending on what he goes up against, is always going to be wounded on the 2.
fine.
And then he's got his plasma cannon. And then what else does he have? Oh, I don't have 2 melee weapons, so the other thing doesn't matter
Fine, because
because that
you're
would have been
running
if you
one.
had 2 melee weapons, you get 2 extra attacks on both weapons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, he's not like super awesome. He's 3 OC, 8 wounds, toughness 9, 2 up save, so he should hang around
Yeah,
if he doesn't blow himself up with his plasma cannon.
yeah, fair enough. That sounds
Yeah,
sounds fair.
but I thought yeah, that'd
Uh,
be a bit of fun. Since we're doing something a little less serious, it's a good chance to have a bit of nonsense running about.
yeah, no, that is entirely fair. I think for my one, the bits and pieces that I've added in that you don't normally see, as I said, I've got the aggressor squad in, so that's 3-man aggressor squad. Um, Definitely the meta is to run them in sixes, but we'll see. It's been an age since I ran any of them.
Yeah.
The free eradicators come back. The last time you saw them, you killed one in Overwatch, and then it blew up your defiler.
They really put me off running the Defiler again.
Yeah. That was quite spectacular. The Invicta Warsuit,
Yeah.
which we definitely know is not particularly strong, and a squad of Wolfen. So it's been a while since I've run the Wolfen.
Yeah.
Not the anti-vehicle ones because I didn't have the points.
Okay.
So just the ones with the anti-infantry ones because they're cheaper. And then to get it to fit all in, I did have to lose a few storm shields. So there's
Right.
only one storm shield on the Thunderwolf cavalry and only one storm shield in the Wolfguard Terminators.
Right.
So we might live to regret it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Otherwise, it's the usual mix. You've got Logan, Ragnar, Bjorn, some Blood Claws, Ballistus, Redemptor, but no tanks. So no
Right.
Predator, no
Right.
Land Raider. Um, yeah, just so walkers and infantry.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it should be fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got coming up. So that's to break the fast of not playing games. But there's been more hobbying than that, right?
There has. Yeah. So I've finally the first bit of hobbying since the shed's been up. Not games included. I have a stack of orcs. Where are they? There you go.
Look at them. The grey tide. I
Yeah.
think I saw
And
you
then the
right
rest of the
somewhere.
boxes over there. So yeah, sat down for the last 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night. And what have we built? I've got 20 the combat patrol boys,
Yep.
which I didn't realize until I was just looking at the other ones. So the boss knob is on a standard 32 mil base.
Yeah.
But he's been upgraded now with Armageddon to 40 mil. So
Yeah. You
luckily he's
gotta
not glued on.
gotta
So I've got
find
to dig
yourself
out
a new
some new
base.
bases.
Yeah.
The war boss in Mega Armor is built. He's cool.
Very nice.
I've done both the Weird Boys.
So where did you get the second one? Because you don't get them both in the, or you don't get two in Armageddon, do you? Or do you?
No, I traded my Space Marines for some
Ah, of
tools.
course. Yeah,
So
of
I end
course.
up with doubles.
Fine. Okay, good. Well, I mean, it should always be interesting, right? But
Yeah.
two weird boys.
Two Weird Boys, two War Bosses, two Banner Knobs, two Big Bosses, I think they're called, the new
Yeah.
model.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Orc Lieutenant, isn't it? Equivalent.
Yeah. Two Pain Boys, and can't forget the two Surgeon Gretchen.
Yeah.
We've done the Death Dread,
Oh, nice.
and then we've part assembled the what is this bloody thing called? Snaz Wagon Doom Buggy, whatever it's called.
Right. Okay. Very nice.
Because I was building everything. This is the first one I built where I was like, priming this is going to be a nightmare because obviously that's going to go lead belcher.
Yeah.
But there's no way I can lead belcher two orcs that are riding in it and the Gretchen that are stuck to it as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do those sub assembly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then I've got a ton of stuff. But then we had a paint delivery. I've got 115 quid's worth of paint here and
Better
some
keep that
brushes.
one quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been spotted. Just before we started, she's like, how many paints did you buy? I was like, shush.
Don't worry.
I need them.
So you've got the obviously you said lead belcher for the vehicles. Fair enough. Always a good start. What base spray are you going for the orcs?
They're going to go Wraithbone, same as the all my Death Guard stuff.
To start Wraithbone and then
and then go up from there. So for the thing that I was watching, so the way I'm going to do it is they're going to get I can't find it. I think it's Uruk Flesh is going to be the base.
Yeah.
On the floor. And then I'm going to layer it with some Krieg khaki. And then they're going to get washed in Biltan green. That's the skin color I'm going for.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm actually going to, like I said, learn how to paint, do it properly, use a base, use a layer the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then wash it. So that's going to be the skin. And then I've got my notes written here.
Very nice.
All the different tribes, so the Goths, admins, etc. All the paint schemes for their clothing and armor.
Yeah.
And we're going to go from there. It would be really, really handy if the Orc Codex could come out quick, just so I've got that as a guide.
I was going to say, apparently rumors are, so just before we came on, I watched one of Chapter Master Valrex videos. I don't know if you ever watch any of his stuff, but it was literally on just before. The rumor was that potentially it was going to go live for pre-order today. Obviously, it hasn't. So it's imminent though. I think it's going to be soon. And they did. What was the other bit that rumor was that there's a Welsh Major, I think it is, next weekend. And apparently there's a reveal show or some reveal show happening on the Friday.
Okay.
Or it's called sneak peeks because it's not like a big reveal.
Yeah.
So it could be them. Could be then that we get news for the Orc Codex. Because they've also got to release like some of the other models, haven't they? Because they accidentally leaked was it the new knobs? When they were showing off some of the images from within the codex.
Yeah, I think I don't need new models. I don't need new models.
No,
I don't care about the other 1,000 Orc players that have been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Just wait.
You want the codex, you want the pictures so that you know what. You've got your guide on how you're gonna paint them.
Give me 3 years to catch up, then release new stuff.
That's it. That's fair. That's the orc mentality. No, just wait.
Just wait. But yeah, I think that is all the hobbying that I've done. So, what have you been up to?
Well, I have. So last time we were on the call, I built the 10 Blood Claws from the Space Wolves Battle Force box set.
Yeah.
Since then, they've been primed. So I've now primed them in. So with all of my, whichever faction I'm doing now, the only one that ever gets done in Wraithbone is the Necrons, because they're the
Yeah.
ones that I contrast paint. Space Wolves and Thousand Suns, I now base them in Army Painter base coats.
Okay.
So they've got a like Space Wolves blue, so I just put that on as the because it comes in a rattle can.
Yeah.
So I'll put that on as the base coat, and then that allows me to paint straight on top of it. So I've done that for the 10 Blood Claws. But then what you have to do after that, once you've done that, is do all the blocking out. So I've done all of the black blocking. So that's in Space Marines, that's all of their bodysuit, leg joints, and waist joints, and whatever else, and gun casing. And then I'm now 4 models into doing the like undercoat for the light colored stuff. So I'll show you an example. I don't know, hopefully it's it front there. So that's a blood claw. You can
Yeah.
see like the black is like been blocked in around his knees and stuff like that, and his gun. But then I have to then also white coat the shoulder pads, like the eyes, the little gems, just because the lighter colors don't go over the blue as well.
Mm.
So I've currently, yeah, I'm about four models through the squad in doing the white for the shoulder pads and anything else that needs whiting out. So then once I've done that, which will hopefully be, I can get that done by tomorrow, I reckon. Then you get into adding the rest of the colors. So then it's just going through them sequentially. So it'll probably then be silver, the lead belcher for all of the metallic stuff, then gold, and then finally yellow and green, and then maybe at some point they'll have to be brown as well for all of the trinkets and strapping and ammo pouches and various other bits and pieces. So it always seems like, oh yeah, you get the base done and then you've only got to fill in the details, but it's the details that take ages. So, but the plan is, as I said, that this is the pre-GT squad.
Yeah.
I think if I get these done, then I'm happy that I've got everything I need. If yeah, we'll see how we go. Um, yeah, I may be able to get some Wolfguard done before as well, but
Yeah.
if not, I think I've got enough from a model point of view for that to be okay. There was also another rumor, more rumors because of the Bjorn Black Library book that there may be a new Bjorn model coming out, which that would be terrible timing for me right now because it would mean it'd come out before the GT, and that if I want to run Bjorn, I'll have to get that. So
Yeah.
I'd rather they just hold slightly, do the book, get everyone excited, but let's not have it out just yet.
Yeah. That feels he feels like a Christmas model.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Ideal. Like, that's fine. I've been thinking about upgrading him anyway, but like old Hammer Bjorn's fine. If they're going to come out with a new one, I'm not going to buy the Dreadnought in between. I'll wait for the new one. So
Nice.
we'll see what happens from that point of view. And then the other hobbying I've done, often forget it is part of the hobby, Black Library itself. So I've now pretty much finished all of the Primarch novels. So we obviously went through and did all of the Horus Heresy, finished that.
We did.
And then after that, I started going through the Primarch novels. So listening to each of those in turn. I've only got Sanguinius left to go.
Okay.
So I've now done them all. Some are better than others, but they are all pretty good. They're because the Horace novels are quite chunky, and obviously I do a lot of do it all on Audible these days. The Primarch novels are much smaller, so that I say much smaller, about half the size. So
Yeah.
if you listen to it at normal speed, it's about 6 hours for a Primarch novel. So it's not too bad in that regard. And actually, some of them, like some of them are much better than others. Um, they're all pretty good, but the ones, as I said, because I just finished them, the Lion one was pretty good. So I was quite surprised by how good that one was because I've never really I struggled a bit with the Dark Angels in the Heresy.
Mm.
Some of the books were good, some of them weren't so much for me. Um, but the Lion novel was good. The Dawn one was really good. So Dawn was a good one, which I was surprised about. I wasn't expecting that to be as good as it was. Conrad Kurz was a good one. The Angron one was surprisingly good. Because I said I find Angron to be a bit one-dimensional, but
Yeah.
that was pretty good. And the Mortarion one was good. So the Pale King, so he was pretty good as well. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'll see what the Sanguinius one is, and then we'll I can tick that off. And then because I haven't got my credit yet, I still had the Era Ruin, which is the one that follows straight after the Siege of Terror.
Yeah.
The one I know you struggled with a little bit, and I've listened to the first two, which is like the one about the angels, so the Marines all in the wasteland after the
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah.
And I do get your point because it's all read by different people. If you've got used to listening to Jonathan Keeble and stuff like that, then you come into it and you've got all of these different voices, cadences, ways of doing things.
Yeah.
It is a bit jarring. So yeah, getting used to that is a bit tough because the the Primarch novels are just like the Heresy really in
Yeah.
terms of how it's read and what you like. So it was an easy thing to kind of get into. Whereas this one, I get your point on it. It was a little bit jarring in terms of how you kind of lurch in and out of it.
Yeah. And sometimes you just don't like if you got a couple of books into it, you probably get used to it. But I think Jonathan Keeble's got a really easy to listen to voice, and he's really good.
Yeah,
Then they changed the voices. The first one they did it was for Talon, that I remember it.
yeah,
I can't remember whose voice it was, but I really didn't like that person's voice. I couldn't get used to it. But also the book was
yeah.
shit. Like it was like I moaned like there's not really many. I know we moaned and joked ages ago about like the first Dark Angels one being a bit
Yeah.
round and round. I thought that book was so dull, and I was really looking forward to it. It had the big tank on the
Yeah,
cover,
yeah, yeah.
and it was like, yeah, they're just sort of in a tank in a sandstorm.
Yeah, it wasn't the most yeah, it definitely didn't feel like the most engaging. Like
No,
you know there are some that you might go back and listen to, you know, at some other point. That's definitely one of the books you probably wouldn't pick up again.
yeah. But Joel, I haven't listened to any Black Library in a long time. I've got 6 credits now, just sat there.
There you go.
So
Got to pick something. What is there any Orky ones? Give you some
there are Orky
inspiration?
ones. I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have to have a little look, and maybe if people know they can comment behind. Are there any good books? Are they just going to be Orc Smash sort of thing, or is there going to genuinely be a story from the Orcs' point of view?
Yeah,
There is that.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there isn't, but maybe it'll be the one like and again, I have to see whether people know
Yeah,
it. Rather than maybe being an Orky point of view, it's just any of the books where the orcs are in it, like as an
yeah,
antagonist.
yeah.
Because I'm sure there must be some with like like I was going to say Hell's Reach. It's the
That was
Black
Reach.
Templars.
The Orcs are the
That
antagonists,
the
aren't
orcs are the main ones on that, aren't they?
they? Yeah, but then I was thinking about the Primarch ones. That's obviously an option, but I was thinking like because I want to re-listen to Eisen. Now
Yeah.
that was what I started with before I really knew anything. So I'd like to redo the whole Eisenhorn series. Now I understand 40, pretend to understand 40k. And like a lot of stuff they obviously spoke about was just like gibberish at the time.
Yeah. Of
Now
course,
hopefully
yeah.
I can re-listen to it and get something new out of it. Or with the credits though, I was thinking like Gaunt's Ghosts are
Yeah,
a popular one, and there's another big series that is missed. out of my head.
Yeah, there's Eisenhorn, there's Gaunt's Ghost, and then there's that marine dude. Not marine dude. What's his name? Um, Caiaphas Kane. That's it.
Yes, yeah. So maybe I'll do something like that. Those are options. Oh,
Ah, there we
here
go.
we go.
Jensen has very kindly commented there for you that the War Boss series is a trilogy of three, and actually has a story following a war boss, as well as following the orcs in a different faction. Very good. There we go. That's one recommendation for you, John.
Okay, that one we'll look into that one then. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. So yeah, Black Library books. That was
Um,
that. So a good hobby up to 25 minutes of hobby and update there,
well, there's
John.
one more
That's
thing because I wanted to
ah
ask: did you get stuck in traffic or on the underground? Because I don't know how you leaped so far ahead on combat cards.
yes. That
Oh,
well. So what happened there? Obviously those that follow combat cards, obviously every season or like yeah, season I suppose it is about a month long, 4 weeks or so. And the last season, Glenn went out like a racehorse,
yeah,
like piled ahead, put up a big lead to the point where like after the first week, I was like, well, I'm not catching him now, so I'm just gonna get my points, get my cards, keep it nice and easy and do that. And then this one I was like, right, let's try and be a bit more regular with making sure I'm on and doing it and playing the game. The way that I always get ahead quickly is more, and it's more luck than anything else, is whenever you've got the missions where you've got to do like win free battles with this
yeah,
leader, I just do those.
right,
And when if they come early, then you're playing with three, you do those three factions in a row. Because they're normally then in your top scoring factions, you then get points a lot quicker.
right,
It's
okay,
risky because if you then lose with that boss, you just drop points rather
yeah.
than gain points. But that helped me stretch out in front at
Well,
the moment.
I can't believe it though. Like, because we were all like within 100 points of each other,
100 points, yeah.
and then I don't know, was it Saturday? Because
I
whatever
think
day it was, I didn't. It must have been Saturday. I was at work because I went on there in the evening. I was like, how the hell are you so far ahead? Like,
yeah, I just
yeah,
Saturday I had a bit of a grind. That was it. I was like,
right,
got to try and get got to try and get about 1,000 points in front. Give me a nice
yeah,
buffer because as I said, I'm then going to go next week. Obviously, I'll be at work and then we're going camping for 3 days. It's going to go quiet then, so I've got
yeah.
to I've got to try and build up a buffer ahead of that.
Okay, fine.
Because otherwise I'll come back and I'll be like, oh no. So that's the plan. Build
Okay,
up a buffer, see how we go.
fine. All right,
Oh.
cool. But that, yeah, like I say, that was a proper hobby update. First one
Yeah,
of that in a long time.
yeah, absolutely.
And if
But that's
Glenn
what,
was here, he might have been able to join in.
yeah, I mean, well, he can't spoil it. We'll wait for a moment when he can
Yeah,
join and tell us like, and we'll learn even more about how far he's come with his grey knights, green
yeah,
knights, green knights.
some sort of blur.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um, right. Well, the next thing we want to talk about, because actually, like on top of then hobby update stuff, I was looking on the Warhammer community, and really, it's been very, very quiet.
mm,
Like the only thing that's come up for Warhammer 40K on the Warhammer community is the terrain templates.
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen them, but like they're
yeah. You
just
can
like
download them now, can't you?
yeah, and it's just like you got like basically ones to fit your faction, as it were. Death World Jungle, Imperial World, Maelstrom World, and Death World Snow available to download, and that's pretty much it. So there's
Yeah.
not a huge amount. Obviously, there's been like other things for other systems, like the Old World, Blood Bowl, things like that, ogres, all of that good stuff. But generally speaking, not a huge amount for 40K. So the other thing and why we're named why this episode is named what it is, we were in one of our chats talking back and forward about win rates and how it was going for the Death Guard. Um, and I was just like, oh yeah, like how is that? How are the Death Guard, who in our local meta, which is more me, you, and then whoever else you're playing,
Yeah,
are doing all right. Like you're not too bad if that makes sense.
yeah,
Versus like the actual rest of the Death Guard, which seem to be struggling, if that makes sense. Like or not as strong as they potentially could be.
yeah,
So I had a quick look just to find a few bits and pieces. Like I was like, okay, where can I see some win rates? So many of you all know about List Hammer and stuff like that. The very top level is obviously it's only looking at weekend data. So the last weekend, and obviously you can flick to include the RTTs, which gives you a lot more data, or you can just look at the big tournaments. So if you go for the RTTs, then actually you get I think it's 2,372 players, so a fairly decent chunk of data. Interesting bits in there is obviously the win rates, so
yeah.
what it looks like, and then the 4 week win rate. So if we look at the win rates over the weekend, Orcs still doing really well, like 62% Leagues of Votan. Obviously slightly lower player base, but still not too bad. Gene Stealer Cult, the lowest of the player base, but like they always do really well because the few people that do play them particularly well. Space Wolves, interestingly, creeping up, 92 wins against 76 losses. Thousand Sun's still there despite the nerf. Necron's fallen, fallen down a bit, but again, high volume of players. And then we have to keep falling down until we get to 45.9%
Yeah.
Death Guard, 78 wins to 92 losses. And the player base is now dropping. So people are like, where you get people that play multi-faction, they're definitely starting to potentially move away from the Death Guard a little bit. Um, and yeah, I'm in an R-ing about this because I was like, how has that happened? Because the Death Guard that I face against you is always a bit better than that.
Hmm. I know. I don't know because I'd never say that I'm the best Warhammer player, but yeah, I've never. There's only been two games so far this edition where I've been properly destroyed, and that's generally because like the go turn hasn't gone off both times.
Yeah,
And all the other losses have been, but then you just don't know, like, because obviously it's wins and losses. Be interested to know what the scores have been on all those games.
that is true. Yeah, that
Have
is
they
true.
been like high scoring and just not been able to get over the mark, or have they been these guys are getting absolutely danced over and they've just gone, yeah, I'm going to go play with my
Yeah,
my other army I've got.
yeah. Because when you look at the 4 week win rate, so that's just dropping it down from that point of view. Interestingly, Chaos Demons go top with Orc second, Thousand Suns third, but that's because the 4 week win rate would include some old data. Necrons, they're about so everyone really from like the Necrons down to the Drukhari are probably fairly even. Space Wolves sitting there as well, so not having not too bad a time of it, but Death Guard drop even further down. It's only 44%. And I'm like,
Yeah.
weird. As I said, it is one of those strange ones. Like and like it might, as you said, it might be that they're close. We'll click into it in a minute because I quite like some of the stuff in here. The other bit that I thought was quite interesting was the disposition win rates.
I was going to ask. So obviously this is overall. Can you go into a faction and see
Yeah, so if I go into Death Guard, what we get
dispositions?
here. So I don't know if it's going to show. Oh yeah, there you go, dispositions. So
Oh, there you go. Look, no one's doing it right.
no,
Disruption.
exactly right. Only 3.8 players are playing Disruption. That's
That's me.
that's all it is. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, you're one of them.
I am the meta. Follow me. Chase me. Oh wow.
But it's interesting because like there wasn't too much of a change on the data slate, but like it's yeah, like last week, it started an upward trend, but it's interesting like pre like some well, I don't know what changed, but yeah, it seems that way. And then interesting, I quite like the matchup side of it. So you Death Guard versus Tyranids, that's
Yeah.
what you want.
I
Like
know.
you want to be playing Tyranids apparently.
I don't think I've ever played a Tyranid. One one person I know has Tyranids. Um, Eldar, yeah, 50-50 against the Eldar players I know. Glenn needs to get out and play.
Yeah,
Ben needs to actually build his army that's upstairs. Space Marines, Dark Angels,
yeah.
yeah, tough. Yeah, that's pretty
Interestingly, when you get towards
tasty,
the
isn't it?
bottom, like Thousand Suns, I don't. That's not like you definitely have beaten me more than that. It's more 50-50. Same with the Space Wolves, same with the Necrons.
Yeah.
But then also like I don't know, your other experience with other Necrons has not been.
No,
I
that was
suppose
my last at the tournament was
yeah.
Necrons. But yeah, what are Custodes? Where's Custodes on there?
They're
Looking
there.
in.
So you only win 38% of the time against Custodes. I say
Yeah.
you, I mean the Death Guard pool that it's got over the last 4 weeks or so.
Yeah. I've never seen this website before. This is really cool.
It is very cool. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. You can see the recent lists as well. So, like again, a lot of people going like 4-1, 5-4-1, but
Yeah.
again, there's going to be people that are obviously not going that well. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Purge,
Um,
purge, taken hold. Wow.
yeah, and like as I said, looking at that, like I said, like loads of people are going taking hold,
Yeah.
like they're and it's a fairly good sample size now, like in terms of the number of games. And oh, so that must be the past. So this is just from because this if you include RTTs. So watch what happens now. If I click include RTTs, it then changes slightly, so the win rate goes up a little bit, and you can
Yeah.
see that again probably hasn't taken as much of an impact. Still, no one's taking disruption. Still, even less from an
Yeah.
RTT point of view. And you can see there, so 46 of the 2,522 games, 46 have gone either 3-0 or 5-0,
Yeah.
depending on how many games it was, and 156 have gone that lost one, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
So again, that would indicate that there's what's about 200, so about 10% of those players are getting are like being dominant, and then the rest that seem to be struggling.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and when you include the RTTs, again, Chaos Knights, I suppose that's because there's less games. Space Wolves, okay, that makes a bit more sense based on and yeah, Necrons, okay, like, but it's quite interesting. If I go look at the Space Wolves, same sort of thing. So actually, include the RTTs, the data slate is relatively good from a Space Wolves point of view,
Mm.
which makes sense. Like we got some points drops on some of our really good units. Um, there's not as many games played, um, and so again, it's lower in terms of the clean sweeps and winning but losing one. And again, taken hold. That's the one that everyone's playing, and that seems to be what everyone is playing for almost all factions at the moment. So everyone was running Purge, now everyone's switched to taken hold because obviously Purge isn't as available.
Yeah.
And it is again, is it because both taken hold and Purge are like they take low mental gymnastics?
Yeah.
Like we know, both of those, take and hold and purge are what you want to be doing anyway. You want to go and get objectives and you want to try and kill your opponent. So
Yeah.
it's like mentally speaking, that's easy to take to a tournament. So I don't know, interesting. Um, Again, yeah, a lot of different lists as you can imagine. But yeah, Legends of Saga and Song, Saga of the Great Wolf, taken hold, makes sense. Um, Good matchups, Chaos Knights, that kind of makes sense. Death Guard's down there at 52%, so pretty good from that point of view. But about right. Not so good against the Orcs.
No,
Space
I don't
Wolves
think
don't,
anyone is though, are they?
Space Wolves don't like the Orcs at the moment, or the Dark Angels, or getting into the Thousand Suns and stuff like that. Emperor's Children, that's interesting.
Well, Dark
Um,
Angels won the Kent Major, didn't they?
they did, yes, yeah, absolutely.
And that's what got us onto this, wasn't it? Because no, Orcs seconds, Tau were up there,
Yeah,
which should be
yeah.
interesting.
Let me. So anyway, I'll stop sharing this, and then we can talk. Let's talk Kent Major.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So as you said, so that site anyway, List Hammer. It's got loads of
Yep,
lists. It's got loads of data. It's very interesting to see. And then, as you said, John, like the Kent Major happened. Was it 2 week last weekend?
last weekend, yeah,
Last weekend, and that was won by Dark Angels. Um, and they seem to be doing pretty well as well since
yeah,
the data slate because I think they had a few different bits and pieces that effectively ended up being buffs for them. And now because there was a strange thing where if you were taking one of the divergent chapters, your inceptors, so they're the ones that drop down within 6 and can have plasma. If you're running divergent chapters, you could only run them in threes. They've now updated that as well. So it's back to being able to run them in blocks of 6, which again will only help the Dark Angels build because it's the speeders and plasma, right?
yeah.
And that's what they want to run. So yeah, they're doing very well at the moment. And as I said, they topped it out. And then that's where we got into Death Guard, wasn't it? Because where did Death Guard finish?
Well, let me start scrolling. I've got it up
Yeah,
here. So just as I'm going, so it's Dark Angels, Orcs, Tau, Chaos Demons, Orcs again, Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Votan, Space Marines, more Space Marines, Tyranids,
yeah,
more
okay.
Space Marines, Custodes, Orcs, more Dark Angels, Necrons, 17th, Space Wolves,
There we go.
Imperial Knights, Admech, Leagues of Votan, Blood Angels, who won the Kent Major last year,
Right.
uh, more Custodes, more Dark Angels. I actually know James, who I normally play his Eldar, and he switched over to Dark Angels recently.
Oh,
And he
I
went
remember you saying yeah.
3 wins on the first day and then 3 losses on the second day. And I was like, okay, you'd go in with a massive head, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You'd be
you'd be
like,
like,
I've got this.
I could be on for a win here, and
Yeah.
then yeah,
I think I'm playing him on Thursday, hopefully. So I'll talk to him and see how that went.
nice.
Then 24th, Space Marines, Tau, Admech, Guard, Orcs, Space Marines, Dark Angels, Dark Angels, Dark Angels. Page 2, scroll back to the top. 33rd, Death Guard.
Oh, there we go.
And that
Squeezed in
was
there.
loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So it's 50-50.
50-50. Okay, all right, fine. Because just as you said, reading through those again, there's a lot of people playing Space Marines at the minute.
Yeah,
Like that's one of the reasons, and they tend to be playing either Dark Angels or vanilla Space Marines. And when we say vanilla Space Marines, what we actually mean is Ultramarines
yeah,
with like maybe the what is it, the Blades of Ultramar or whatever it is. But that is very meta, that kind of Ultramarines build. So I'm
yeah,
not surprised to see it there. I wonder whether again, like, and it might be to do with like a lot of people these days play more than one faction. And I wonder whether like the Death Guard players like have been playing it for a bit now and they're like, it's just dipped, and it's dipped enough that they've gone and packed it away while they play something else, and therefore, you know, the player base has gone down because there was a point where everyone was playing Death Guard
Yeah,
um, when they were particularly strong in 10th, and then it dropped down, and I think it's kept dropping from a player base point of view, and so I just wonder whether that's also hurting the win percentage.
yeah, quite. But that's the thing. If you're not running them, like if you're not being run, you can't get up there. But I just don't understand how it can be that far out because I really don't think that we're that bad. Like the nerfs we've
Well,
had are minimal. Like the biggest nerf we got was to the contagion of -1 to hit in range and combat, which went from just combat. That's the biggest change. But I don't think that's that bad because you
I
still have
don't.
the hidden to play with.
Yeah, and like I again, and maybe it's just how people are running it, right? Maybe
Yeah,
they're just because I again, when you play what is it, Disruption with your Poxwalker build,
yeah,
it's like it's built for it, if you know what I mean. It's a very repeatable, easy, I say easy, but like we talk about Purge and Take and Hold, but why people are picking them is because it's like super low mental energy,
yeah,
especially a tournament. Whereas I actually think that that kind of build, that Death Guard build for disruption with infiltrating Poxwalkers and Spawn, scouting Spawn, is also built for a relatively low mental load because you just know, like, right, Poxwalkers are infiltrating to get me all of the points so I can get all of my primary on turn one,
yeah,
get a big turn one primary for whatever the disruption um, mission is at that point, but you get a big turn one primary, and then you just set yourself up for either go turns or deep strikes or whatever else it is to try and then cause problems thereafter.
yeah.
And I think it seems fairly repeatable and is at least, based on your 11th journey so far, at least 50-50, right? You were
Yeah,
about 50-50.
I'm probably tipped over the edge now. I'm probably like 60-40 for wins.
Yeah.
Um, and they were, like I said, other than two failures. But what's funny is though, the one game we played with that list, I went, oh, let's do the take and hold, took 5-0 one, and that was a pasting. That was a horrible list to go against. That tournament list that we
Yeah.
copied. So how we're so low down if people aren't just doing that?
Yeah. And
Because
then, like,
the data state hasn't killed that too much. I mean, I don't know the missions how they've changed too much, but that hasn't killed that list. Like that's a really good crunchy list to play against, which is what I
yeah.
adopted into my disruption list.
Well, it's that again, it's a low model count.
Yeah.
Like it's low model count, but it's very, very strong. I don't know, would that list have been able to get purge back then? Or was it
I
take and
I
hold?
think it would have stayed. No, it was take and hold, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I was going to say like it might maybe it's that list in particular because it's low model count, low unit count, but very, very tough units. You'd then be like, oh, that's a perfect purge list because the enemy can't kill enough.
Yeah,
But if it wasn't purge anyway, then the data slate wouldn't have nerfed it
yeah,
because take and hold hasn't really changed.
yeah,
And it would yeah, it's a brutal list. Like
yeah. Maybe just the interest just isn't there. I guess.
yeah, it could be maybe it's because like and again it's we I suppose or I see it in the Thousand Suns faction a lot at the minute. Every time there's a data slate update, really. Like the way to run Thousand Suns since the middle of 10th has always been the same. It's always either Grand Coven with Magnus and minimum size units, and you just basically run away from everything and try and stay alive and psychic stuff. That's it. Like you just try and do it that way. Um, or it's Rubricae with as many Terminators as you've got painted.
Yeah,
And that's like the two ways to run it. And like the start of the dish, I think that's the thing with maybe the Thousand Suns. Like the start of every edition, all of the player base gets excited because they're like, right, great, I can run it this way, I can run it that way. There's
yeah,
lots of ways. And then Games Workshop will go, oh, this is doing lots of things we probably didn't intend and in ways we didn't want it to go, and you're winning too much. So back you go to what
yeah.
we know works. I kind of get that from a balance point of view, but maybe that's the sort of thing that's happening with Death Guard right now, in that it's like players want to run it one way, and actually the way to run it to win with them is not the way the player base want to run it. So they're just going like, well, we're not going to run Death Guard because it's not interesting doing it that way. I
Yeah.
don't know. That could, it could be that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's weird because, like I say, we've all since I've been playing, it's always been strong.
Yeah.
It's always
I,
been up there, and we
I-
play, and our when we're like genuinely close games, 50-50 for wins, dice depending on what they want to do to us.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't know what it is outside because our meta is mostly just me and you to compare it against. So it's quite weird
Yeah.
to see
It's,
what's going on.
yeah. It's, as I said, maybe that's part of it as well. Is like I remember, like, you know, the in tenth or whatever, going to tournaments, you would see other Death Guard lists,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I was going to say, like, the last couple that we both went to, I don't think I saw maybe one other Death Guard
I think
list.
there was one other at the last one we went to.
Yeah, but
There's
only
always
only
one of them.
yeah, it all seems to be one other, but no more than that. Whereas I think for some of them, I'd go along and you'd see lots of Death Guard. Like when I went to the London Grad tournament, there was plenty of Death Guard there. Um, I think you always see lots of Marines. I think that's just the nature of the game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But certainly, yeah, lots of Death Guard in that one. But again, since then, definitely seems to have potentially dropped off.
Hmm. Yeah, well, what we'll be due a data slate again soon, won't we?
Yeah, not
What day
too
was the
long.
last one?
Mid, it wasn't mid
Must
July,
have
was
been
it?
the 20th because it
When
was
was
just
it?
before
It was just
our
before we
tournament.
went to the RTT,
Yeah,
because it was it literally had dropped. So it was Warhammer 40,000 July update. What you need to know, that was the 22nd of July.
right, okay.
So that's when it would have dropped. So it'd be another couple of weeks if we're going to get one in August. Um,
Yeah, so maybe next Wednesday.
yeah,
Okay.
and then maybe you'll get. I was going to say what. So on that, then let's flip it onto the next bit. If we think that they're going to use like win rates and how that's going for the army and stuff like that, what do they give? What would they give the Death Guard? That's gonna. What do you want
I
versus what
think,
do you think they're going to give?
to be fair to the Death Guard, Death Shroud Terminator's points need to go down. I don't know. I was really thinking about it the other day. I was like, what can they do? I think they need to change. They need to change that contagion. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know if you're afflicted because you can't really like if you're afflicted. I think maybe they could give that back and say if something's afflicted, it's -1 to shoot and thing because if you're in a affliction range,
yeah,
I'm not going to get hidden anyway
yeah.
because
That's
you're going
true.
to be within 12. So even with go to ground, you're within 12 because contagion can't go to 15 inches. Like there's no way of doing that because it's
Yeah,
always maxed out at 12. Um, so maybe just give us that back because that might help. Because that I don't feel like that has been a change that's needed. Um, and then it's
Yeah,
just if you're not going to maybe it's just something to make the
I
Death.
suppose
I know that because the thing is, Death Guard, like Plague Marines are toughness 6. So I keep thinking, oh, maybe something to make us stick around more, but we're toughness 6,
you are really
and
tough.
that's
Yeah.
base Marines, which is fine. So that shouldn't really hurt. But I just think in this meta, weapons are not bolters, but like anything that isn't a bolter is generally quite tough anyway, or quite strong. So
Mm.
like, it's very rare that Marines are getting wounded on anything more than a 4. Very rare. So, but I don't know. Like, I liked the old disgustingly resilient from ninth,
Yeah.
where we could like reduce damage. Realistically, that's obviously not coming back because you can't have that across the whole army. That's
Feels like with your tough, that's the trouble is if you if they dropped you back to like marine toughness and then gave you the -1 damage,
yeah,
like that might be it. But again, it's because you got the higher toughness, they can't then make that army wide because then it
no,
does become potentially unbalanced.
yeah. I think two
Mate,
CP for it for one strat on one unit is a bit shit. Like
that is a little bit pricey for what it is. I
if
mean,
there
you
was a
could,
detachment, that would be
yeah,
fine to make
or or
everything.
or you have like a like they change it to be it's one CP and it's like there's one of the Space Wolf detachments where you can heroically intervene with as many units as you want, as
Yeah,
long as you've got the CP for it. If in
yeah,
that detachment you made it one CP and then you said, and you can do it as many times as you've got command points to spend for it,
yeah,
that might get you there. Like
yeah.
that might help.
I think inevitably with the nerf, Morty's probably going to come down a couple more points. I think
He's
360 is
he's getting
generally
well cheap for a Primarch.
yeah. I mean, 400 is like it's fine, but he went down to 390. I just feel like they're going to do what they've done last edition. He goes down like he ended up at 360 at the end of the last one. That's probably just where he's going to go back, but he's fine. The laws of contagion are like they're 120 points. You'd pay 150 for what they do.
I was going to say
Not that I
that
want anyone to do that.
they're all quite efficient. Like all of the top units are really efficient, right? So
Yeah,
it's like whether or not they do stuff with like whether they can do anything with Plague Marines, because that's the bit where it's like or even Blight Lords, because again, like you probably don't need to do stuff with Death Shroud and Lord of Contagion because in most lists, like tournament lists, they're going to be utilized as much as they can be anyway.
yeah. I think I'm in the minority. Like the Blight Lords are really popular. Like if you look at a lot of
Mm.
lists, everyone seems to run the Blight because they are. The idea is you stick them on an objective, keep them out of sight, and anything comes towards them gets absolutely melted. That's the point of them. I just don't like doing that with a blob of Terminators that are as expensive as more expensive than Mortarion when you put a leader on them.
Yeah, I suppose that might be why like they're doing it for taken like that would work with taken hold, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and that's what they're. You deep strike them in on your expansion or
Yeah,
into the middle, and you just say, "Come deal with this,"
yeah,
and we'll shoot you for your effort. I mean, maybe they can take off the tax for the drones, where you pay an extra 10 points for the third one, but
yeah,
that's not really that painful. The plague burst crawlers are too expensive for
yeah,
what we do, especially with artillery being always on 6s now.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. I feel like I win enough games with the Death Guard not to be too upset. So I don't know why this win rate's so low. Um, but any points buffs you want to give us, I'll take. But yeah, I mean, like, how do you feel with all the factions you play, like especially Space Wolves?
Space Wolves, I think, are in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah,
Like the win rates haven't snuck up too much that I think will get any attention, which is good. I think we've still got access to Purge,
yeah,
which is nice because it's a nice, easily understandable one. I think there, interestingly, a lot of players seem to play the Great Wolf, which is the Logan specific detachment. I myself still prefer Beast Slayer because I
yeah.
like I think lethal hits is just really useful at punching up against stuff. Um, so I think that's still the way to go there. Um, so I think they're in I think overall they're in a pretty good spot from that point of view. Like they're they get some of the benefits of the nerfs or the buffs that you get for Space Marines generally. They obviously get some of the negatives of that, but it's not too bad. Generally speaking, they're pretty good from that point of view. I think Necron wise, I think all of the nerfs that sort of went their way were very justifiable given the popularity and strength of the faction right now.
Yeah,
Um, I haven't played them yet in 11th, but everything I've looked at, seen, read, heard, understood is like I think it's fair and they're still doing well. Like they're still really for an army. I know they were like a starter army in ninth because 10th was a Tyranid, so would have been ninth.
yeah. No, I think
Um, they've still got a really high player base,
yeah,
so I think they're just doing well. And I think when you've got a really high player base, really efficient ways of playing the army almost get dispersed throughout the faction community quite quickly because
yeah,
there's just many more games and people are like, oh, this build really works, this build really works, that build really works, and I think there's so many different ways of playing them right now that they're fine. And a lot of the units are good for their points, so they are still efficient. So I think that tends to work. Thousand Suns, it's the same every kind of edition. Like they come out of the gates really hot because like GW kind of doesn't know what's going to happen with a lot of the interactions when it comes to an army that's very psychic. And so there's a lot of great things that work, multipliers, combos, and they get really killy really quick to the point where it's like oppressive.
yeah,
And then they're like, right, we've got to do something about this quick and effectively just nerf it back down to, the only way to really run them is like Grand Coven or uh, Phalanx. And it's like, you just got to run loads of one thing. You always have to max out one thing. I think like there's a list that I've got that I think will work quite well. Um, but again, I think that what it does is it makes the army so the army feels super elite because it costs lots to put stuff down. So you get taxes on the big units, you get taxes on the number of leaders, you get taxes if you run too many small units. So you end up like being really precious because you're like, right, I can run 10 Scarab Occult Terminators, that's great. And then a maximum of three 5-man squads of Rubric Marines.
yeah,
You can't, and then that's it. Like, then there's a few other bits and pieces on top of that, which means then when you play each game, you've got to be so careful how you use your army that that it's not, other than at the start of an edition, it's not an army that you can afford to trade with. And that makes it a really technical army to play.
yeah,
Um, so unfortunately, that seems to be the way it goes. And then they ease up a little bit. So we'll have it's still quite a high win rate at the moment. So what might happen is there might be a couple of more points that go off here and there, and then win rates will start to dip, and then it'll equalize out, and they'll give a few points back here and there, and then it will get to where it was at the end of 10th, where it wasn't too bad. but it was still, yeah, still a little bit tough. I mean, just again, like one of the, let's have a quick look. The one that I always look at is when I compare Magnus versus Morty in terms of cost.
Yeah.
So at the moment, Magnus costs us 455 points.
That's crazy.
It really is. It
That's
really is. Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
455 points.
Oh,
Obviously 2 up save, 4 up in done, but no feel no pain, nothing like that. Like once he's dead, he's dead. Like
maybe it's a spillover punishment from the books. Like he
he did
fucked
nothing
everything up.
wrong. He
He
didn't do
fucked
anything
everything
wrong.
up. So you can be more expensive because you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's it. Bang. That's
Like,
how we're gonna give it. Yeah, it's terrible stuff. Terrible stuff.
mm,
Yeah, the I was gonna say, what's the? Oh, it's not the exalted sorcerer. Yeah, then the sorcerer tax, which is, I think, is quite egregious as well. Yeah, so for the first 2 sorcerers, you pay 85 points,
yeah,
and then for the third one, it goes up to 95 points. And that's because almost every list would be like 3 sorcerers and 3 squads of rubrics.
yeah.
So they're like, no, you can't do that anymore. Or if you do want to do that, you have to pay a lot more for it. So it is what it is. So I think Thousand Sons are the only one that are really, suffering's the wrong term, but they're always the ones that feel like they take the nerf hammer quite hard.
Yeah, they do.
But I'm sure it'll sort itself out. But yeah, Space Wolves, pretty good place.
Yeah.
So happy at the moment with how they're doing. I just, yeah, don't have enough stuff painted. Got to always be painting.
Yeah. That's
So
the issue with having 3 armies, though, isn't it? There's
it
always
is.
you're too spread out.
Pile of shame is, you get a pile of shame for each one, which then obviously multiplies it by 3, and you're like, oh my God, there's so much to paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. As said, Year of the Wolf still ongoing. Apart from the brief hiatus for the Dusty Boys, we're still Year of the Wolf.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't go back on your word.
Yeah, no more chaos. Not this year.
All right, cool. What
Cool.
else we got? So we're gonna go do a GT in October, hopefully.
Yeah, 2-day GT back down at Canterbury. Is
Yep.
Canterbury, isn't it? Yeah, Gothic
Yeah.
Games. So their GT. So that's five games over 2 days. I
Yeah.
think it is. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. If we recover from the London GT by then.
Yeah, well, yeah, indeed. London one will be fun. Will be fun. It's of an entirely different scale, so it's a bit more intense, but
Yeah.
should be good.
Yeah. Nice. But that's it. I think that's all up to date for another Sunday.
Another Sunday. All right. Yeah. All right. We'll leave it there. I'm sure next week we'll have updates on a few more battles that we would have games that we would have had, as well
Yeah.
as if we've managed to paint anything else.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, we'll let you know how the campaign plays out.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Right, well, thank you very much, everyone who did tune in, and see you next week.
Bye all.